In this episode, I award Dr. Hiraluk the badge of piracy for truly embodying the romantic ideals that make an adventuring heart possible.
Welcome to the journey. Welcome to the crew. We think we're pretty funny, and we hope that you will too. This is the opening song to season 2. It's where the journey really starts because we've made it out of East Blue. We've got our snacks and we've got our friends. Now it's time to discuss the anime that never ends. Yeah! Start the show!
Hello, fellow adventurers of the Grand Line, and welcome to episode 35 of King of the What Now? What are we? We're a podcast where we discuss the anime One Piece. I'm Joel, your host, longtime fan, and also, I'm gonna protect these baby birds from an evil tyrant.
And I'm Curtis, currently traveling up a ropeway.
Curtis is currently having a stroke, but don't worry, there's a very talented doctor at the top of that ropeway.
I can't have a stroke. I'm a short-time fan who hasn't seen the whole series yet, Joel. Well, I guess no one's seen the whole series yet.
Well, okay, but all of the current series that is out. And our ghost host will not be joining us for the most part today. There's a potential I might hear her speak to me through psychic means, but for the most part, she's gonna be abstaining from this episode. So, 35 episodes. That means that if we aired an episode once a day, I don't know we'd be airing it on, but we'd be able to go for 5 weeks straight with a new episode every day.
That's
not like a new
Joel.
episode. What?
That's a lot of episodes, Joel.
Yes. And we're like, I think a third of the way through the Alabasta Saga. Isn't that great?
Hooray!
Okay, where we last left off, we were still in the middle of Chopper's backstory. Dr. Hiraluk was about to go off and confront some folks, it seemed like. We weren't sure exactly what was going on, but he just kind of scared Chopper off, and he had some final business to attend to. We also watched 4 episodes, which is super, relevant. Those were episodes 86, 87, 88, and 89. That starts with Hiraluk's cherry blossoms and inherited will, and goes all the way through when the kingdom rule is over. The flag of conviction lasts forever. And although we're not done with the Drum Island arc, we have certainly gotten through the climax. Okay. Curtis, would you like to summarize?
Joel, I would love to provide you a succinct summary.
And you definitely remember everything that happened in these episodes.
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
so flashback bit first. We have Chopper finds out that Hiraluk. Yes, I got it this time. Finds out that Hiraluk is dying. He doesn't want him to die. So he hears of a mushroom that can heal any illness. So he goes in search of this mushroom and he finds it. The journey leaves him bruised and battered with a broken leg and a missing horn and all that, or antler and all that stuff. He uses half of the mushroom, makes a soup that's supposed to heal Hiraluk. Hiraluk eats the soup and then hears that the 20 MDs, the doctors that wallop...
Wapol, who will receive a wallop, but they're slightly different,
He finds out, so the doctors that Wapol keeps are supposedly sick, but it's really a trap. But he goes up there anyways, after talking with Kureha briefly. Goes up to the top of the mountain. It turns out, though, that the mushroom that Chopper gave to him is not actually a cure-all. It is a poisonous mushroom.
Deadly poison, yep.
And, what's his face?
Hiraluk
knew this already, but accepted the fact that he was going to go die. So he went up to the top of the mountain and then drank something that made him explode. I think
seems to be the implication.
Yeah, I think in an effort to kill Wapol, but it doesn't actually kill Wapol. But he has a really touching speech beforehand, and then Chopper finds out what happened because Kureha explains it to him, and then he wants Kureha to teach him to be a doctor. Flash forward, we've got Wapol shows up to the castle, and Luffy and Nami and Sanji and Chopper and Kureha and Dorothy and her cousins and her neighbors, and they're all there. No, everything past Dorothy was or including Dorothy is obviously.
No, Dorothy was there. She's the ghost that haunts the Straw Hat.
Yeah, clearly. But they're all at the castle right now, and they go out. Well, everybody except for Nami goes out to face Wapol. Some highlights in the fight: Sanji doesn't fight because he's still injured. Kureha doesn't fight because she's keeping Sanji from fighting. Chopper uses a drug that allows him to access more forms that usually wouldn't be accessible to a devil fruit user of the Zoan type. And defeats an opponent which is now a combination of Chess and
Marimo.
Yeah, it doesn't Marimo, matter. Yeah. Kuro Marimo. So the way they got fused was apparently the Munch Munch fruit, which Wapol ate, allows him to eat both of them, turn into a factory, and with a little door on his belly where the belly button would be. And when the door opens, they come out fused as one person.
4 arms, 2 heads, but I think 1 set of legs and 1 torso.
Yeah. So Chopper defeats them with the help of drugs. That's a great lesson to teach children. And that leaves Wapol to Luffy. But Luffy is so taken aback, or like he's awestruck by the fact that here's a reindeer that can transform into 7 different forms, that he doesn't notice Wapol sneaking into the castle.
God dang it, Luffy.
Wapol goes in, finds Nami, tries to eat Nami, and then Luffy steps in, and they finally duke it out. They work their way up the castle. They get to the top. Wapol's going to shoot him with a giant cannon. The giant cannon doesn't work because it has a bird's nest in it. And he goes to eat the birds. And Luffy says, no. And then he uses something called the Gum Gum Blowgun.
Yep.
Traps him and then bazookas him away.
Right. The blowgun is essentially throws Wapol up straight up, and then there was a roof there, so he got stuck in the bricks. It was basically just, I'm going to mobilize him so I can land the final blow.
Yeah.
And he sends him flying the same way he did with Buggy with the Gum Gum Bazooka.
The only other kind of important plot line is Usopp, Zoro, Vivi, and Dalton, who gets healed by the 20 MDs who reappear, all make their way up the mountain using a ropeway that they found. I don't know how long the ropeway is there. What has been there. I'm assuming we'll get that answer in one of the next episodes.
Could be.
It would have made Luffy's life a lot easier. But anyways, they go up the mountain and get there right after the fight, so they don't actually help at all. But they're just like, oh, yay, good job, you defeated Wapol. Hey, look, it's a talking reindeer. We should shoot him. He's a monster. And then Luffy's like, no, he's my friend, and he's trying to explain. And that's where we leave it.
All right. No, that's a perfect summary. I don't think that there's a whole lot to add to the overall summary, although there is one thing, and that is that the reason Chopper thought this poisonous mushroom was going to heal Dr. Hiroluck is because Hiroluck is always going on about how the symbol of the skull and bones represents the pirate, and pirates are free, and it represents dreams and hopes. And so he sees this mushroom in a medicine book, and it had a skull and crossbones next to it, and he goes, oh, so it must be good. No, that's not what that means in that context. Yeah. That was kind of a metaphorical meaning, Chopper. And the reason he got all bloodied is because this mushroom happened to be on the other side of his old pack of reindeers that rejected him, and he had to kind of fight his way through them, which is great because that means that he had his kind of moment of, well, one of the moments of self-actualization back then. Yeah. He kind of realized that he had to fight in order to.
The other thing I glossed over, there's a brief part where right after Hiroluck dies, Chopper goes up to the mountain, gets there after the fact, and then sees, oh, he's dead, and goes to attack And Dalton intercepts him and says, look, you're not going to be able to win. You can't even, like, get past me. Mm-hmm. Don't waste your life on this right now. Mm-hmm. And gets him to leave, which actually is the reason that Dalton gets put in prison later, is because he let the monster leave.
Absolutely. It's interesting because one might say that Hero Luck didn't do anything because in a sense he kind of didn't. He exploded and like you said, probably to try to stop Dalton or to try to stop Wapol. Now I'm getting names mixed up, but it didn't work. But at the same time, without him, the Drum Island arc wouldn't have happened the way that it did. Mm-hmm. I believe that he helped inspire Kureha to try to be a little bit nicer in a certain way because of his boundless optimism.
Yeah.
He befriended Chopper, who's, majorly important to defeating them later. And Hiruluk's sacrifice is actually what both the 20 MD and Dalton cite as the turning point for when they realized, they're supporting a bad guy.
Yeah.
And so his sacrifice and his intentions and all that good stuff, it helped kind of turn the sickness of the island around. Mm-hmm. Also, he finished his work, his 30-year thing to try to do something to make the sakura trees bloom on Drum Island. But he didn't have enough, so he gave some to Kureha, and that was one of his dying wishes was, please make more and heal this country.
Yep.
All right. Perfect. The speech from Dr. Hiruluk. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it, Mr. Kurz?
An 8.
Okay. It was very impactful for me. If I had to pick top 5 speeches from One Piece, there's a lot of good fights, there's a lot of good punches, but in terms of someone giving a meaningful speech, this is easily one of the top 3 probably for me.
You know why I gave an 8?
Why is that?
Because so many people ate it up. Except for Wapol.
Well, yeah. Wapol can eat everything except for ideals.
Yes.
If you haven't seen these episodes, or if it's been a long time and you don't remember, it's something to the extent of, when does a man die? Is it when a bullet pierces his heart? Is it when he drinks poison mushroom soup? Is it, I don't remember what the third one was, or is it when he gets an incurable disease? No, it's when he's forgotten. And the episode title of that episode is something about inherited will, which is very interesting to me because the opening mentions that inherited will is one of the important things, I think, maybe in the Japanese, or maybe it's the English, but it's one of those things that Roger lists for good qualities that a person needs. Mm-hmm. It goes along with fate and destiny and dreams. Do you have any thoughts about the idea of an inherited will?
Yeah, so inherited will, I think, is a theme in One Piece. Because if you think about it, the whole quest for the One Piece is inherited will. Mm-hmm. It's and the pirate golden age is all based on Gold Roger. I had to remember his name for a second there. It was based on Gold Roger, inspiring
Mr. King of the Pirates.
Yeah, inspiring all these people though, right? Like, I mean, some of them he inspired them with greed. So yeah, but still, like there are a lot of people out there, kind of like Luffy, who got inspired for the adventure side. It's like Luffy and Shanks and that sort of stuff. So.
Well, not only that, I don't know if Luffy was directly inspired by Gold Roger himself. I think he was actually inspired by Shanks, who is also part of this new kind of generation of pirates. And you'll notice, too, that Bellamere tragically died, but in a way, Nami is kind of carrying on the will to live and do good by her mom's teachings, and Usopp wants to be a great pirate just like his dad. Inherited will is a huge thing throughout this series, and it's a metaphorical thing. They usually aren't doing the exact thing that their predecessors wanted them to do, but it's sort of like, go out and find your own answers, but use us as kind of a guideway sort of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, all of the Straw Hats, their reason for being on the adventure comes from some sort of hero or idol that they had, right? Like you said, Shanks and Bellamere and Yasopp. Though I guess I would almost say that's a mixture of Yasopp and what's her name?
Oh, Queen? No. Kaya. I knew I'd get it eventually.
Mostly Yasop, but a little bit on Kaya. And then let me remember Zoro's the girl's name. Wait, don't tell me. I don't remember.
Kuina.
Man, that's what I was gonna say for
Usopp's friend.
And let's see, Sanji's was the chef. The chef's name was...
It rhymes with chef.
Zeph.
Yes, perfect. Redfoot Zeph.
Yes, and then and now we've got Chopper and Hiraluk.
Mm-hmm. So. Absolutely, and it's really interesting. This is not spoilers because even if you were to catch up on the manga tonight somehow through the magic of magic, we don't know if anything particularly inspired Gold Roger to decide that he was going to run off and become king of the pirates. I am almost positive that something inspired him, and I'm almost positive it was someone.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive in 500 episodes when we go back to Dragon, I think Dragon is doing what he's doing because of someone else.
Yeah.
So it's a huge theme in the series.
I also forgot Vivi.
Yo.
Vivi and the guy with the curly hair.
Why do you put me on the spot like this? Ingram.
Yes.
No. Igaram, thank you.
There you go. I definitely noticed the difference.
Yes.
I mean, I do now, but I mean, I definitely identified that what you said the first time
was wrong.
Yes, because I remembered.
Okay, can you name the 3 kids in Usopp's village?
Wait. Carrot.
Uh-huh.
Onion.
Uh-huh.
Radish.
Pepper. So
it.
close. Radish is Goku's brother, all right? To be clear. But anyways...
Also part of One Piece canon.
There have been Dragon Ball Z One Piece crossovers, so that's something interesting.
Are we watching those?
I don't think they're part of the One Piece series. I don't know when they take place in the series either, so we might eventually visit them, but it's not going to show up in our watch list.
I kind of want to watch them now.
They're so good, or they sound really good, I guess.
They might be horrible, but I want to see it if it is.
Okay. But anyways, yeah, so Inherited Will is like this big important thing, and it's interesting because it's just sort of, do your own thing, but what you're trying to do is kind of the path is led by others. Chopper would not have wanted to become a doctor if not for Hiraluk, and he would not have had the knowledge of medicine that he would without Kureha. But I wonder if by the end of the series, if he will be a better doctor than either of them, because the journey through the Grand Line is almost a metaphorical one in a certain sense. Like, the further you get into it, the better you have to be at what you do. And so by the end of it, I think that Chopper, by having put so much energy into it, will have succeeded them and become even better. Which also brings us into Chopper's kind of goal a little bit. He hasn't stated it, well, he did state it outright, but he mentions that he heard of this mushroom that could heal anything, and she goes, "You idiot, there's no such thing as a medicine that can heal anything. That's why we need doctors." So what do you feel about Chopper wanting to be a doctor that can cure anything? That eventually becomes his answer. He goes, "Then I will become a doctor that can cure anything."
I mean, that just means that he wants to be, you know what? I think this is a bad thing, Joel.
Okay.
You want to know why?
What's that?
He's going to be a doctor that cures anything, who flies under a Jolly Roger.
Oh,
and
okay.
more children are going to grow up thinking a Jolly Roger, a skull and crossbones, is a cure-all. They're going to go underneath their kitchen sink and say, "Oh, look at this. It's got a skull and crossbones on it. I should drink this. It'll save me." Yeah.
Okay, so what about this? What if once Chopper becomes king of the doctors, king of the what now? What if he gets to host a TED Talk that's seen around the world, and it's, listen, skull and crossbones on a flag, good. On food, no good. He can teach other people the lesson that he learned. A lesson that I think most people would learn. It's just the fact that he kind of has this weird mix of knowledge and not knowledge,
But Joel,
yeah.
What if criminals start sailing on ships with skull and crossbones? Like, what if they're coming to, rape and pillage?
I don't know why you're so obsessed with trying to get an R rating for the One Piece universe.
I'm just confused because none of them are really pirates.
Oh, there's plenty of real pirates, but they're not going to do it in the way that you're keen to point out happened historically and that sort of thing. But
There's just not enough murder.
there's just not enough murder. No one dies in One Piece. Dalton was explicitly stated to not have a heartbeat, and they brought him back in this episode.
You know what's going to happen to
What's that?
Wapol? So you remember how he did this to Buggy, and Buggy landed on an island?
Yep.
Wapol's going to land on that same island and go on his own adventure.
I like it. I like it when, and this is going to be a slight tangent. I apologize if you're here only for One Piece and nothing else. But in Star versus the Force of Evil, she faces a guy named Ludo in the first season who's the evil monster king. Spoiler for season 2 of Star Versus, but I think they're on season 3 or 4 at this point. But she defeat at the very end of the season, after having all these battles with this guy who's basically an incompetent villain, she gets rid of him and sort of exiles him, but in his exile he learns how to fight on his own, and when he comes back he's stronger. So I like the idea of Wapol being sent away, and maybe he goes on some kind of character arc. Maybe he becomes a better person, or maybe he just becomes a stronger threat and he comes back and he wants revenge and that sort of thing. But I like the idea that you're no longer assuming that Wapol's out of the picture, because we already have proof that just being sent by a Gum Gum Bazooka doesn't.
Now, to be clear, if he lands in water, he's dead.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is. But we know that that's not how pirate luck typically works.
If he lands in standing water, if he lives in a river, he's a chance.
That's right. That's what we figured out last time.
Lands, not lives.
Right, yeah. If he just lives in the river, he'll drown eventually.
Yeah.
He has to breathe like a... Okay. All right. I feel like I've been hogging the spotlight, and whether that's true or not, I'm going to pass the mic over to you. Do you have anything that you would like to discuss from these 4 episodes?
Let me think about it. I like Luffy befriending Chopper. Mm-hmm. That whole progression is very sweet.
Mm-hmm. You know what I loved? Luffy has stated on multiple times, a gun's not a toy, put your life on the line, fight for your dreams, and even though he doesn't say it in as many words, he shows it through his actions. But Chopper, at some point, when Luffy and Chopper had split up, one of them was fighting Wapol, the other one was fighting Chess Morimo, I think his name was. Chopper said, I'm gonna fight, and I'm gonna win, I'm gonna put my life on the line. And it actually shows Luffy's ears, twitching, and then he kind of, looks over and grins, and I just love that. Luffy's like, yeah, he passed the test. I didn't have to tell him or anything. He already knew.
No, they're gonna be best buds.
It's going to be great. Well, and especially... Zoro can sometimes act a little goofy, Sanji can sometimes act goofy, but for the most part, they're a little bit more emotionally and intellectually mature. Mm-hmm. Usopp and Luffy are idiots, and they're just joking around all the time. Chopper really is basically the baby of the crew, if he does join. Who knows? And so they're all going to get along fabulously, because they're all going to share that maturity level.
I'm curious to see how he interacts with the rest of the crew, because we've only really seen him interact with Luffy and Nami so far.
And he ran from Usopp.
Yeah.
So maybe Usopp and Chopper will be rivals.
Yeah, I mean, Usopp told everyone to shoot him.
Well, I mean, that is kind of the Usopp thing to do in any other situation if he saw, a giant slug monster. He didn't know that Chopper could talk. He didn't know that Chopper was sentient. But at the same time, from our perspective, what the heck, Usopp?
Yeah. Hey, Joel, I think we should go to our sponsor for this episode. We don't want to forget about him.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So you know how... I
don't know what you're talking about right now.
How much time do your cats spend licking themselves all day?
I would say quite a bit when they're not sleeping, of course.
Yeah, and it seems like a really inefficient use of their time. So that's why the people at Fun Cat Supplies have come up with the automatic cat licker.
Okay.
Yes, it's a little device.
That sounds like an insult, like you cat licker.
Well, I mean, if you think somebody is a piece of modern technology that is a true modern marvel, then you can call them a cat licker, and I think that would be appropriate. It's just a big box with lots of cat-sized tongues on the inside of it that are attached to little
like
motors.
a conveyor belt type of thing?
The cat goes through it like a car wash, and it licks your cat automatically.
Okay.
You have to kind of like push them through the first few times before they get the hang of it.
Okay, sure, yeah. And you yourself are a cat owner as well.
Yes.
They don't interfere in our recording as much as mine do, but how did it work out when you use it on them?
Well, they were a little nervous about it, but that's why I bought the manual automatic cat licker, which is, it comes on a stick with just a few tongues on the end, and you just kind of like, you run it along your cat, and it gets them used to it.
Okay.
And then eventually they learned to like it, and then they started using the automatic cat licker on their own.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You could also pair it with the like a treat at the end of it. If you put a treat in the middle of the box, they'll naturally kind of scoot in. Maybe they'll be a little afraid, but maybe if you put just enough food in there, they'll get over it. And it's painless. I'm reading the instructions here, and it's simple to use, and the cats are absolutely safe. They're going to love it. They're going to feel great.
The one problem I found is that I only have one right now, and the cats fight over it.
Oh, okay.
So like, one of them just doesn't want to get out. They just sit in there all day. They don't want to even get out to eat anymore, which is weird because they love food.
Yeah.
And so the other one gets upset and they want to turn. So then they swat at them until they get out and they fight over it. So I might have to buy another one, though I got to figure out how to get them to continue eating and using the litter box. Because they don't want to leave it. I'm not sure what to do about that.
Okay, so the advice is at least one automatic cat licker per cat in the household. The key, if you think that they're going to be averse to it, is to buy this other product. And you're also going to want to make sure that you don't leave it out in the open when you're away at work or something like that. Kind of keep an eye on them, sort of a thing.
But they are coming up with a solution to this.
Okay.
It is the automatic cat licker suit.
Oh,
that you
okay.
put your cat into, and it like goes over their whole body, and it just licks them constantly all day.
I also like that because then that also you might be able to, if they work out the technology, they could also come out with different designs, maybe like with flames painted on the side or like a little tuxedo, because I was just talking about to my wife about how dapper our cat would look if he was in a little tuxedo. So.
Yeah. And you know what else they could do?
What's
For
that?
home defense, they could start putting little weapons, like little lasers and that, on the side of the cat. So like in the suit, and they could pop out, and they could help defend your home from like, maybe small rodents.
Okay,
or,
sure.
Maybe a burglar of intermediate size.
Not too big because, these are little tiny weapons. They're not going to pack enough punch.
Yeah,
for that sort of thing.
it depends on how many cats you have.
Okay, I see. So you need to kind of get them to learn the formations and such and to work as a team.
Yes.
Okay, well, what a wonderful product. I can't wait to test it out. So you just go online and enter...
you go to... well, I'm not sure what the website is, but if you Google fun cat toys or fun cat products, I think it was fun cat products. You will find something probably.
And you just enter promo code Cotwin and, free shipping within the United States, and just tell your friends, spread the word.
Yeah.
All right, get back to licking cats, you cat lickers. Let's talk about the pirate flag and what it means to Chopper and what it means to Wapol and what it means to Luffy and that interaction there when Wapol sees that his castle's been quote-unquote desecrated.
Well, I believe the Jolly Roger, as we know it, was first used by the pirate...
Boring. No, it's not. If you're into history, that's great. It's just, that's not necessarily what we're about.
It just means you're a nerd.
And we love nerds.
Yes, we do, actually. I mean... Who would listen to our show?
Yeah. With all of our sports metaphors, it's really surprising that we haven't gotten more stereotypical jocks listening to us.
Yes, you can't see us, but we're both just insanely ripped jocks. That's what we look like.
My hair has been spray painted the color of my favorite team, and then on top of that, I'm wearing a beanie from that favorite team, and on top of that is a baseball cap backwards, and it's been spray painted the same color, and also has the insignia of that team. That's how much I love my favorite sports team.
Mm-hmm. Sports ball is great. Okay, we were talking about the pirate flag. So Chopper inherited his pirate flag from Hero Luck. Hero Luck. Every time I do it, I have to go Hero Luck. Hero Luck.
I'm going to give you some flashcards because they actually did a popularity poll in One Piece, I think, for the 20th anniversary, and they included literally every named character. There were 800 entries.
It's too many characters.
Look, it obviously goes Boodle at the very top, Mayor Boodle, and then underneath that is Choo Choo, the good boy, know me, dog fruit user.
What's his name? Choo Choo?
His name was Choo Choo.
Oh, that's right. It was C-U-H.
Yes.
Not like choo choo.
I mean,
choo-choo.
it was pronounced that way.
I guess it's the same, isn't it? Practically speaking.
Underneath that is Sanji, Prince Twirly Boy. No, I'm sorry. We're getting distracted.
Pirate flag.
Chopper had the pirate flag.
Yes, and the pirate flag is the normal skull and crossbones, but it has 4 cherry blossoms on it, or petals.
Mm-hmm.
Petals from a cherry blossom tree.
That happened to look like hoof prints. Like Sanji, or like Chopper. So.
I noticed that, but I think that's a coincidence because Hero Luck did not know Chopper. He hit the flag before he knew Chopper.
Yep.
So, it's just a reference to his whole I want to make cherry blossoms bloom on this winter island thing, and he thinks that will heal the kingdom.
Sure.
By giving people like hope and beauty and yes,
and elegance.
Yes.
So Wapol shows up and he sees this flag on top of his castle. Chopper basically took over the castle because he sees it as Hero Luck's grave, which it is. And so Wapol, being, the snot-nosed brat that we all kind of know him for. Fun fact, I look him up on the wiki, and apparently he's only officially 27 years old, which is much younger than that arrogant brat kind of acts. He looks like he should be in his mid-40s.
It's like our age.
Yeah. But he sees this flag, he doesn't like it, he attacks the flag. Chopper expresses obvious frustration, that don't you dare touch that flag. And as we've already kind of figured out from previous arcs, the good guys tend to see morality in one specific light, the bad guys tend to be very different morality, usually very selfish. Kerr only cared about his plan, Bug only cared about his treasure, yada yada yada. So Luffy, in fact, basically jumps in the way of this cannonball and gets hit, and he's holding the flag and goes, "This flag cannot be stricken down. You don't understand this, Wapol. You're an idiot. You weren't actually a pirate. You were just playing. We put our lives on the line so you couldn't possibly understand this." And he, even in this speech, acknowledges he doesn't know who the flag belongs to. He has no idea that it was a good person or a bad person, but he knows that they at least gave it their best, and he's going to protect the sanctity of that. Which is really, I would say, how do I say this? It's truer to Luffy's interpretation of what pirates are than some of his other actions. He always acts in line with kind of how he sees pirates, but this is one of the times when he has both the words and the actions to express his views on the matter.
Yeah.
All right, so that was basically all I wanted to say. Do you think that the importance of the pirate flag could come up later, or do you think we're kind of done, we've already addressed this, let's move on?
I'm curious about it. I think the importance insofar as it representing, Hero Luck's dream is still yet to be played out, but that's just because I think they're going to resolve that, the cherry blossom thing.
Before we leave the island?
Yeah. In terms of what happens to the flag, I don't know.
Well, sorry, let me be more... In One Piece, you got to fight for what you believe in, and so the next time they fight a bad guy, chances are they're going to have an ideological difference from Luffy. And Luffy's going to fight for what he believes in, he's going to put it all into the fight, and he's going to win. And that's going to be a theme that we see throughout the series. But in terms of the importance of a pirate flag, not Hero Luck's pirate flag, but the pirate flag, how important it is to pirates in general, can you see a bad guy that in some way disrespects or desecrates the flag? Or do you think that the Straw Hat Jolly Roger is going to be important? Or do you think we've basically already explored this topic?
No, I think it'll come back. Especially from, like, a Marine. I could see a Marine captain or a Marine captain or admiral, I guess. Whatever ranks there are. I could see this coming back.
Okay. I'm glad you think so. We'll have to just tune in and find out. I would love if we had an arc that was just like 5 pirate crews versus 5 marine units, because they're all one crew, really. But trying to play capture the flag. If you can take the marine flags, because I'm sure the flag's important, the world government flag's important to the marines, and the marines are trying to take the pirate flag. It's just a giant 5v5 capture the flag match. That'd be kind of fun. Okay. And moving on to the next thing.
Oh, I don't have anything.
Okay, I thought you were pointing to be like, shush. Do you have an MVP from these 4 episodes?
Wait for it.
Just give it to Zorro. We know that he's the MVP in all of our hearts.
Oh, yes. No, I'm going to give it to... I'm going to give it to Luffy. I was debating between Luffy and Chopper, but I'm giving it to Luffy. For 1, taking care of business, and 2, for inspiring Chopper. I guess I could reverse that. 1 for inspiring Chopper, and 2 for taking care of business.
Yeah, I think that every character who is going to join the Straw Hats has a moment to kind of show their stuff into some level. Sanji jumped in the water and saved Luffy. Zoro, his real moment was kind of against Mihawk, more so than when he escaped from the compound where he was being kept. But I would say that Chopper's was, though interesting, it didn't grip me the same way that many of the other Straw Hats did.
Yeah.
His transformations are kind of cool, and it was surprising, but it didn't really feel like he really had to put that much at stake. He basically already had the fight in the bag the moment that it started. And so Chopper gets some points for some of his actions. Dalton's pretty good. He was on the brink of death, and he was going to go and save the country anyways, so that's dedication. Hero Luck gets the points for me, because I'm going to give him MVP because of the great speech that he gave for inspiring Chopper and all that good stuff. I agree, though, that Luffy had some great lines, and he just wiped the floor with Wapol. There wasn't even a moment when you're like, oh no, how's he going to get out of this one? No, it was just he ran up, he punched him, Wapol got up, he punched him again. It was great.
Whenever anybody asks, well, how did Luffy beat him? The answer is always, he punched him real good.
Well, that's true, but there are like against Don Krieg, when he punched the armor and the armor didn't break immediately. There was a moment of, well, how's he gonna win? That guy has this armor all over his body. Kuro could run at supersonic speeds, and it's like, well, how's Luffy gonna beat somebody who can move that fast? There wasn't ever a moment with Wapol where I was like,
yeah. All those other ones, he just had to learn how to punch better.
And now he knows how to punch real good, and so what's even the point in going on?
No, once you've reached real good, there is no further to climb, except for the mountaintop. But she did that already now too, so he's done.
Yeah, no, there ain't no mountain high enough. So what? You guys do references all the time. Well, not you guys. It's just you and me right now.
What do you mean, you guys?
Okay. Do you think that any of these episodes were filler?
No. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop asking you that question. I think that you are within your rights to say, Joel, what were these episodes? I feel like they were filler, or what was with that scene that felt weird. But we're in the middle of an arc, so there's not really any reason to bring it up. What do you think is going to happen in these last 2 episodes before we leave the island?
I'm happy you asked, Joel. 1, cherry blossoms. There will be cherry blossoms somewhere. Cherry blossoms. I had something else I was going to say too, and I was waiting for this question, and now I've forgotten.
Wapol got launched. Usopp was going to try to kill Chopper.
Oh, yes. It was Dalton.
Yes.
I think Dalton is going to rise up to either be like king or some form of leader for the island now.
Okay, yeah.
He's going to be, because they need some sort of like leadership now. There's a power vacuum,
and I think he's the most to fill that.
I think he's the most likely to fill it because
he
people like
and
him.
Dr. Kureha could rule as sovereign king and queen together. Look, she needs to replace Chopper. If Chopper's going to leave, she needs an animal companion to call her own, because Dr. Kureha, I don't know if you picked up on this, but she was actually a Disney princess 100 years ago.
Oh, wow.
In her youth, yeah.
Wait,
and then she just kind
in
of...
her youth?
Yeah,
in her youth, Joel? What do you mean in her youth?
She's just a youthful 130.
Yeah, God. Yeah, no, I think here's what I think would happen. Dalton, new head of government, whatever. Kureha, head of the medical ministry or something.
Okay, so
she
she'll
runs
have
all the
the
doctors.
research because that's what they're known for on this island is all
Yeah.
of the medical research.
Yeah,
okay.
so she'll her and the 20 MDs will start rebuilding the medical research they used to do.
And then in 500 episodes, when the demon race reappears and the rifts to hell are opening and these monsters are coming out, she and her team will have been the ones to have developed the superhuman drug that will allow people to surpass their human limit. She's going to be the one who shows up, injects something in Luffy's neck that allows him to bounce, or that can allow him to punch even further beyond punching well.
He's gonna punch better than real good?
Yeah, he's going to punch super awesome.
What?
Yeah.
That's impossible, Joel. You're speaking nonsense.
Okay. Let me go back to my usual questions that I ask. Okay. Sometimes I remember to mention this, sometimes I don't, so I just want to be explicit this week. Next week we'll be covering 4 more episodes, episode 90, 91, 92, and 93. So that's fantastic. Oh, I think I have one final question that I'd like to discuss.
Wait, is this our final thought?
No, it's a final question. One more discussion point.
Okay, and then we got to do final thought.
And then we got to do final thoughts, yes. Yeah. Okay. When we started watching this show, or I showed you clips of this way back in the day when I was getting into it and trying to induce you into the cult, as it were, did you expect that we would meet someone who fought with afros and weird fuzzballs that stick to people and are super flammable? What in the world was that?
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. Sanji kind of freaked out about it.
Yeah, we were making a joke at some point about an AU about how would they all relate to the fashion industry, and I kept saying, well, I don't understand why, but I keep thinking of Sanji as the pretty boy, and no, he really kind of showed his pretty boy side in this episode where he was like, oh, gross, get it off, and Luffy would just punch someone. Who cares if he's got some weird hair sticking to him?
They did light it on fire eventually, so it did prove to be a threat. But stop freaking out. You got hair on your clothes.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Oh, and you totally called it. You mentioned that the fact that Luffy had ripped Nami's jacket was going to cause her concern. And it's not a big plot point, but I'd honestly forgotten. And so when he runs into Nami again, she has this look of just being the Grim Reaper on her face.
Yeah.
She goes, what happened to my jacket? Luffy fears no man, woman, child, monster, or enemy. There's nothing that makes him go, I might be screwed, except for Nami. That drives true fear into his heart, and he goes, oh no, I am powerless before her. Okay, and now we can move on to final thoughts.
Do you have a final thought plan this time?
No.
Oh, last time we had a...
Oh, I had the question, and I wanted to, No, I don't think that I have anything.
Okay. Well, let me come up with a final thought. Final thought. The 7 forms that Chopper had were pretty interesting. I liked the mixture of super beef and then the more agile form and all that. It was pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure that he has one more that you haven't seen, that he has the next time he's in a major fight, I feel like he busts it out. And if we went back and we counted, I'm not sure we would come up with 7 as the number.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was interesting. There's a final thought that we should talk about. He said that the medicine enhances the wavelength of the devil fruit. First off, wavelength, again, that just sounds like a term that should be from modern times, not back when the pirates were at their height.
Yeah.
But what happens if he feeds the Rumble Ball to Wapol or Buggy or Luffy? Right? Because he didn't say it enhances the power of my devil fruit.
The Rumble Ball.
The Rumble Ball.
You said Wapol Ball.
Did I? Oh, did I?
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay, so now we have 2 different interesting plot points. We have the Buggy Balls, which are powerful explosions, and now we have the Rumble Ball, which don't consume a Buggy Ball thinking it'll make your devil fruit stronger. That's probably not true.
Yes. And that was your do final thought.
All right, everyone, official outro goes here. So ends the next leg of the King of the What Now adventure. We're sad to see you go, but we'll be here next week. If you crave some social interaction with us in the meantime, you can find us on all sorts of different media. We have Gmail, Patreon, and Tumblr. All of those are King of the What Pod. King of the What Pod at gmail.com, patreon.com/King of the What Pod, kingofthewhatpod.tumblr.com. Our Twitter handlers are a little bit different. You can reach me at KOTWN_pod.
And you can contact me, Curtis, at Pirate Co-host.
Also, please take a moment to rate and review our podcast on whatever platform you're using to listen. Not only will this help others find the podcast, but your constructive feedback will help us improve the show as we go.
Thanks so much for giving us a listen. Until next time, follow your dreams and protect your treasure.
Remember, it doesn't need to be literal treasure.